Hey guys, I recently moved my work from home desk from one room to another, and in this video I'll show you version 1.0 of the new setup. Okay, so let's get into it and take a look at my desk setup. So one of the first things I did with my new setup was to get a new monitor. I got an LG ultra-wide model 34W500p with an aspect ratio of 2560 x 1080 with a 75 Hz refresh rate. This ultra-wide monitor allowed me to move away from a two-monitor setup, which was really distracting, and sometimes I just prefer to have a clean, minimalist setup when it comes to my desk space. A new addition to my desk is actually the Google Nest Hub Mini, which is my personal assistant and secondary screen. I use it to watch everything from Netflix to YouTube to the news and check out the weather. But the best part of the Google Nest Hub Mini is that it's my personal assistant. So I could speak to it and set reminders, to-do lists, timers, whatever I need. I can just speak and not have to worry about taking notes in another application. It just does a great job when it comes to being a personal assistant. And I highly recommend that if you're working from home and you need to have a little bit of organization, that these assistants do work, especially if you have a lot of things that you're trying to keep track of and you want to have to-do lists. You can keep adding things throughout the day into the Google Nest Hub, which makes it a perfect addition to any work from home setup. The current keyboard that I'm using with the setup is the Dell keyboard that came with the actual work computer. At some point I'd like to replace this with a more advanced keyboard. It's not a bad keyboard for an everyday work keyboard, but I like some clickiness to my keyboards and maybe something a little bit more aesthetically pleasing than this Dell keyboard that actually came with the computer. So the next thing I'll have to replace in this setup is actually the mouse and the mouse pad. The mouse came as a set with a keyboard, and because it was wireless, I kind of repurposed it for this desk setup, but I really do want a dedicated mouse that is a little bit nicer to hold and to work with all day, as opposed to this cheap wireless mouse that I've currently been using for at least a year now. Another thing I suggest you guys get is some sort of wrist support. This pad from Extreme cost me about $4, and it is certainly well worth it when you're typing for long hours on a keyboard. It's definitely something that you should have if you're working from home, and for $4 you can't go wrong. So something you guys might have noticed on my desk is this Cardinal Rock Album classic LCD watch from the 80s. It plays the Beatles, and I've been meaning to get a battery for this watch for the longest of time and maybe change out the strap. So it sits on my desk to kind of remind me to take it in as soon as some of the lockdowns in my area are over. I want to take it to the jewelry store and see if it still works after all these years. Another thing you guys might have noticed was the red lights in the back of the monitor. That's my HDMI switch. It's a 4-port HDMI switch, so that means I can connect up to 4 HDMI inputs into this one unit and have it fed into HDMI port number 2 on the monitor, giving me, instead of having the 2 from the monitor, giving me in total about 5 usable HDMI ports, which is a benefit when you want to connect other computers or devices to this amazing looking LG ultra-wide monitor. Behind the monitor I have an Apple TV connected to the LG ultra-wide. This allows me to turn this into a TV, as I don't have a lot of room in this space for a dedicated television, and it also allows me to game on Apple TV and use Apple Arcade. For my speaker I decided to go with the soundbar. This is the Creative Stage Air. It isn't the best sounding speaker, but it fits under the monitor off to the side, and it does provide decent sound quality for the price. In the future I might be replacing this with a better speaker system. So there you have it, my work from home desk setup version 1. At some point I'll be updating this video with other tech that I've been thinking of adding to this setup, and I hope you guys will subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and if you like the video, hit that like button to help us get found in the YouTube algorithm. Keep the good vibes going, and we'll see you next time.